the Los Angeles Chargers taking down the Dallas Cowboys in an epic clash, 34-7. This is a really interesting game for many, many, many different reasons. The Dallas Cowboys are playing for nothing right now. In a lot of ways, they want to lose. Not saying they're tanky, not saying anything like that. And you guys know, I'm always always considering the opponent, always trying to figure out who you're playing and the relevance of it when it matters, when you're beating a bad team versus a tough loss against a good team, all of that type of stuff. And now that we're at such a key part of the season, things are winding down. Seeding matters. Everyone has completely different incentives. The Chiefs clearly don't want to win. Literally nobody was playing in that game. They were like, we want to lose, we want to lose, we want to lose. They want to lose. And so I look at a game like this and I think to myself, like, what can be the strong takeaways? And the takeaways end up being quality of play, where we talk about the Chargers having all these injuries, their O-line, all of that type of stuff, and all of that is, relevant. But when I even just look at like a Justin Herbert right now individually, even if you were playing against the Raiders, like, again, a terrible team, seeing Justin go 23 for 29, 300 yards, 10.3 yards per attempt, 2 touchdowns, a 132.88 passer rating, 8 carries, 42 yards, and, obviously 3 total touchdowns, which, to be fair, I'd like him to take, have less carries in a game that clearly is not super, down to the wire competitive in like kind of like what happened against the Chiefs just last week. You're like, okay, I just don't want you to take any unnecessary hits, put any extra risk. But you do see a Chargers team really humming along at a pretty high level. And listen, we could say that this Dallas Cowboys defense is kind of a, set up to kind of turbocharge any type of offense. And that's totally fair, but I just think, considering how the season has unfolded for the Chargers and the fact that they were really being held together with Scotch tape. I think any high quality game where everything just seems to be firing at all cylinders, 0 sacks, all of that type of stuff, the run game going, Hampton going, hitting, what is this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different receivers. It's just, and no matter who you're playing. Same thing, what I kind of said about the Eagles taking on the Raiders, like, it's just a high quality game, can be a high quality game. And although I care a lot less about that earlier on in the season, at this point when seemingly so many things could go wrong for a team like the Chargers again, because of injuries, because of whatever, any type of start to finish high quality game, it just means a lot more to me. I mean, you're 7 for 11 on third downs, right? 452 total yards, only 4 penalties, and that's always the biggest thing that I look for when you're playing against a team that just is not going to be competitive against you. The penalties, and although the Cowboys are a step up from that, but, obviously dominating the time of possession, it's just this is a weird part of the season right now. Game was obviously competitive. In the beginning, there was a sense of like, all right, this is kind of a back and forth game. Could this be a game that the Chargers drop, and then, obviously they just were able to continue to maintain what they needed to do. Kick field goals when they needed to kick field goals, and, when you're in a position to get a touchdown, you're in a position to get a touchdown. Dallas gets desperate too as well. They got to go for it in their moments, and you're able to extend the lead even more. So, just kind of a straightforward game. Weirdly enough, kind of reminiscent, obviously, against a much higher quality opponent. Reminiscent of what happened with the Eagles, I guess last night. Yeah, last night on Saturday against the Commanders, where it was just kind of like, all right, game's kind of close, kind of competitive, more than you would want it to be, but then you kind of stretch things out a little bit, take advantage of some of the desperation of the other team. Yeah, I don't know. It's, I was trying to think going into this game, what could be the takeaways for a team of the Chargers who are, who are trying to play their best football, uh, going up against a team that is high quality enough but not quite playing to obviously win, right? Like it's just different. When you see the Packers and the Bears play each other, the Rams and the Seahawks, the stakes are through the roof, and for both teams, it's through the roof. The intensity is through the roof. And so when you have games like this, you're just like, you know, like I'm going to have this take essentially for a lot of the games, the Bills versus the Browns. You're just like, like what's it just I don't know. It's just different. And when there's at least when it's a divisional game, like you felt that again, I'll just keep using the Eagles as a reference, the Eagles and the Commanders. Like that game was kind of competitive, then it wasn't, but it was still chippy. The fans were still in it because like the Commanders hate the Eagles, right? And like the you still have that energy because it's a divisional game. The Chargers and the Cowboys got that, not at all. So yeah, I'm curious how you guys all feel about games like this, or what you look for in games like this, how they kind of unfold for you. But I mean, this easily could have been a game. I think I'll kind of just sum it up here, so I can continue to watch this Broncos Jags game. That at the end of the day, this easily still could have been a game for Justin Herbert where he's like getting beat up. He throws for 240 yards, but he was sacked 5 times. Had an interception, but still threw for 2. You like this game could have been ugly. It could have been muddled up. Herbert could have been getting lit up. And the fact of the matter is that you're coming away with a win in a way that I don't think you've had a lot of games as of late. I'd have to go back and look at some of the stats, but like you haven't been able to have like a high quality complete game. Justin Herbert protected, not lit up, pretty consistent run game for the most part. And it's just a good time to have it right now, right? It's a good time to have it. You can make the argument that the Dallas Cowboys are better than the Kansas City Chiefs. They beat the Kansas City Chiefs yet against the Kansas City Chiefs. That was one of those weird, tight, ugly, bizarre games in a way that this game was not. And same thing against the Chargers versus the Eagles. Weird, ugly, beat up game. Forced a million turnovers, but still needed a field goal in overtime, right? Like, so it was just like this is a complete high quality game in a way that like I feel like the last time we saw that was maybe against like the Steelers, and like I think it was against the Steelers or the Vikings. But it was like those games got out of control for the other team. And so it's easy to kind of stack that up in that way because now you're just kind of piling on. This felt more progressive throughout the course of the game, which I appreciate that more. Hopefully that all made sense, but those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the San Diego Los Angeles Chargers 11-4, rocking and rolling? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comments, whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much.